everyone. Welcome back to the Live to Inspire podcast. This is episode 5 now. It's going really well. We've had people from all around the world. Obviously, I'm based in Bahrain at the moment. So there's a few listeners out here. There's some people in Canada. There's some people in the United States. There's some in the UK. I think 1 or 2 in Spain. So I'm genuinely blown away by that. And I thank you all for taking the time to listen to my content. Here we go. This is, like I said, episode 5. And the reason really for this episode, based around habits and change. Now recently I've obviously been at work, as we do, and I always find myself with something in my hand. Got a pen, always have to have something in my hand. And I thought to myself, why is that? Why do I always have something? Why can't I leave it alone? Why can't I move forward? Why? I don't know, it's just a habit, and people say, it's force of habit. And why can't we, or why do we struggle, or better to say, why do we struggle to change habits? So interestingly, I read a book called Atomic Habits. It's by James Clear. Some really, really interesting content from James. I think he's done a TED Talk as well. If you've got time, go and check that one out. And a lot of this information and learning that I've had has come from that book and obviously personal experiences. So it did make me think, obviously, about habits. And every morning I've got by my bed the Daily Stoic. And so it's 365 quotes, or 366 quotes, with explanations around the quotes of Stoicism. And one of them that I found really poignant, it came up the other day whilst I was thinking about the pen and all this, that and the other, was what stands in the way becomes the way. And that's really true, right? Like everything that is always there, habitual, it's routine, it just keeps happening, it keeps happening. So the classic ones, I think, people want to lose weight, people want to be successful, people want to make a lot of money, people want to start a business, and so on and so forth, right? And it's interesting that one of the guys from British Cycling, I forget his name now, again, it is in my book, Live to Inspire, but his sort of mantra for British cycling, the success of British cycling around the London 2012 Olympics, and after that, the legacy of it is the 1%, the marginal gains. Everyone thinks that in order to be successful, it needs to be immediate. We need rapid gratification or instant gratification. But the actual reality of habitual change and success is the net result of compound interest, i.e., if you make a 1% change every day, by the end of the year, that's effectively 365 1%. So the net of that, you could improve your life, your habits can change by at least 36 or 37% in 1 year. Whereas, like I said, the flip of that is massive success or massive growth does not happen overnight. It's not a linear relationship. Time and success, they don't. As one increases, neither does the other. It doesn't work like that. So, first point, really, marginal gains. What can you do? What can you control that has or will elicit a 1% change? That might be something like waking up 1 minute earlier or not hitting the snooze button. It's as simple as that. That's a 1% change. You wake up earlier, you wake up when your alarm clock goes off, boom, the day is yours. So it's success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. So again, if you were a smoker, perhaps you might want to give up smoking. And again, it comes back to that thing that it's not a lifetime or once in a lifetime transformation. You can't just wake up in the morning, boom, stop. It's not possible. So success comes from the product of daily habits. So like I said, the 1% with that. It's like I said, it's not linear, and we should try and think about progress and change. I know it's something I've struggled with. I've been on strength programs. I've been on bodybuilding programs. I've done a couple of world record attempts for endurance. I write programs for athletes. Some of them are power athletes. Some of them are speed endurance athletes. There's all sorts, and it's nice the people that I work with, and obviously myself, in that I am aware of that change is over time. As much as we would all love for that change to happen immediately, it doesn't. Sorry to say, it doesn't. So again, personal experience of weight loss, where I was on a bodybuilding program, and it was like lose a kilo a week and this, and you've changed your diet, you've changed your training, you're training twice a day, you're drinking all the water, you've then got food prep, your shopping budget is different, the food you eat is different, the time you spend preparing the food is different. All of these things is massive change, and it then becomes a real shock to the body and shock to the system. We'll talk about systems in a little bit, but it's that's the thing, that there's too much change. You've effectively changed 5, 6, 7% immediately. Why not just change that one thing and go, right, I'm going to now increase more cardio, or perhaps a better lifestyle choice for me is to drink more water. That way I will then feel fuller, etc. So that is why a lot of people fail to adhere to new training programs, new habits. I'm sure we can all appreciate at the start of a new year, right, I'm going to go really healthy this year, or people have just finished dry January, not drinking for a whole month. That to me is very respectful. I take my hat off to people that can do that. But what happens in February, on the 1st of February? All right, I'm going to have a drink to celebrate. So the habitual change hasn't actually managed to take place. Now, one of the reasons for this, going back to the Atomic Habits book, is around goals and systems. So also in my book, where I've been educated through various levels, people always talk about the SMART goal setting program, or the SMART goal setting process, I should say, where our goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time focused. So it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time focused. Now, a really interesting thought on this, to flip it on its head, is that setting a goal is actually really easy. So it could be, I can set a goal right now of, I want this podcast to be #1 in the UK. There you go, boom, set a goal. January, I am not going to drink any alcohol for January. Boom, there you go, there's another goal. It's really quick and easy to set a goal. The issue with goal setting is exactly that, is that they are too quick to set. The challenge comes, in order to change a habit or to achieve a goal, is to put in the correct system. Now this is more a behavioural factor rather than a psychological factor. So if you have the right system, and I found this really poignant because after the Olympics, we came back on a plane. This was Sochi 2014 Winter Olympics. We came back on the plane, get to Heathrow, loads of press, everyone's achieved this, that and the other. And you know, I managed to fulfill one of my dreams, one of my goals that I had since I was 6 years old. So that was a 22-year dream, a 22-year goal to go to the Olympic Games. And then what happened after that? I achieved my goal. Then what do you do? So that's one of the other flip sides of goal setting, is that no one really talks about the end of it. So once you've achieved your goal, so the power then switches over to having an effective system in place. If you have a good system, i.e. a 1% change, so let's say it is to drink more water or read more, simple little things. One of the key tricks or hacks that I've learned is to surround yourself with those factors. So change your environment. And by that, I mean, if you want to read more, have more books around. If you want to drink more, surround yourself with more water bottles. The Atomic Habits book explains in the way that we should have one environment for one task. So the bedroom would be for sleeping. The study would be for studying, work, reading, whatever it is. The problem comes when there's a sort of multifaceted approach of, if you are on the sofa where you would normally watch TV, Netflix, eat pizza, whatever it is, and then you try and do work there or read a book in that same environment, it creates a conflict in your brain as to, but this is where I relax, or this is where I watch TV, and now I'm reading a book. So if we can change the environment to a more positive one that will facilitate the change in habit, then that in itself is one of the key steps. Again, going back to the Winter Olympics, the achieving your goal, we can all have the same goal. We can all have the goal of making £1 million per se, or being successful. And it comes down to only a momentary change. That's it. You achieved your goal, boom. It can also be quite black and white with goals. So you either achieve your goal or you don't. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Like, we can all appreciate that. And like I said, what do you do after? So if you've been working towards being successful, however it is, whatever your goal is, and you achieve it or you don't, what do you do after that? So that's where having good systems in place become really, really important. The system should focus on the outcome. So if we change the input, or we develop the input system, then the outputs will come, i.e. the goals will then be there. So what really matters are the daily decisions and actions that we take. I know for one, I always try and eat more fruit and vegetables. So simple fact is, like I said, an environmental change would be have a fruit bowl on your table, have some fruit by the door. If you're making lunch or dinner, I've got frozen vegetables. Take them out, boom, straight in the microwave, they're good. It's there. It's a simple decision and a daily change that we can take. And again, very interesting that I never appreciated it at the time. I spoke to a 3-time GB Winter Olympian, and this gentleman said to me, never make a sacrifice, only ever make a decision. And I never really, like I say, appreciated it at the time, but if you make a sacrifice, you completely remove that factor from your life. It's gone, you cut it out, it's no longer there. Whereas if you make a decision, very similar to a system, you could put a system in place for your goals, or you can make a decision to go for your goals. It might be the right one, it might be the wrong one, but we will always be able to learn from that decision, from that system. So many different systems in place, and we can take that system, that decision. If it worked, we could take some bits from that and we can try and disseminate that information, or then reapply it. We reset, we go again, we keep trying, we keep moving forward. In terms of outcomes and the process to that, a lot of people are focused heavily on the outcome, i.e. success or whatever the goal is. However, in order to create a habitual change, we need to reprogram effectively or change our mindset to re-establish our identity. I listened to another podcast, ironically, about this, about identity, and it was explained along the lines of, if you wanted to run a marathon, don't see yourself as only running a marathon, because that is the goal. Once you've run the marathon, what do you do after that? If you change your identity, so the outcome is running the marathon, if we change it to our identity as I am now a runner, then that creates longevity, and you may end up running 2 marathons. So it's almost got potentially exponential growth for your original goal. I personally would love to be able to play the piano or play some sort of musical instrument. And again, changing my mindset from outcome to identity, in that I don't want to be able to play an instrument, I need to become a musician. So it's a small tweak, like I said, the daily decision of a musician rather than playing a musical instrument. It's such a significant change. Another example for you, I had a mentor that helped me with my transition from the elite world of sport through to life after sport. An unbelievable human, very successful guy. Always look up to him. We regularly meet up for coffees and have chats, and we touch base. And a simple factor of habitual change, he said to me, was change the word try to will. So to put that into context for you, I will try and eat more vegetables. I will try and drink more water. I will try and read more books. The word try on its own is so significant that it allows us a get out clause. It's very broad in terms of our interpretation as to how much are we trying? Are we trying a lot? I tried really hard there. But if you change it to will, it creates a sense of urgency. It's got more power to it. I will eat more vegetables. It has conviction in it. It's powerful. There's no deviation, there's no subjectivity to your own interpretation of will. It's quite categorical. Either you will or you will not. So again, something else to potentially think about. So moving forward as well, we have a series of feedback loops. So it's another way to think about things, or rewards is really significant. So I think I mentioned it previously about the marshmallow test, or a sweet test. They start going around on social media of parents setting up their phones and recording their children with a bowl of sweets in front of them. And they said, if you don't have any sweets while I'm out, I'm just going to the toilet. When I come back, I'll give you double the amount of sweets, but you cannot touch them, you can't eat any. And it's really interesting to see that some children will sit there really nicely and they'll wait, and then they get more sweets, and then other kids will just eat all the sweets straight away. Now, the point of this experiment effectively is around gratification. Instagram, any really form of social media provides immediate gratification. It's an immediate reward, which is heavily linked to bad habits. Now, applying that further, if you were in need of gratification, I've done something really well, I've been to the gym, I've lost some weight, that's a 1% change, or it might be significant change for you, and amazing, well done. However, you may want to celebrate that change by having a chocolate bar or having a cake or something along those lines, where it provides an immediate gratification as to, yes, well done. And that there lies the problem. So combine the change in environment with delayed gratification because of compound interest of the 1%, the marginal gains. If we compound those marginal gains, we have delayed gratification, we have longevity in terms of our rewards and our systems. The goals we will achieve will end up becoming bigger. We will surpass what we originally thought we could achieve. And it then perpetuates a more habitual, positive cycle for us. So I would fully implore you to think about habits, or potentially think about changes you could make to your environment. Where possible, try to avoid massive change and immediate gratification. They're massive factors to avoid. Try and delay gratification, change the environment, set up a system in place that will allow you for positive growth. I look forward to hearing any comments, any questions you have. They're just some amble ramblings, as always, from yours truly, Dave Coleman. This is Live to Inspire. Any feedback is welcome, and I look forward to speaking to you or being in your ears on the next episode, which will be episode 6. Stay strong.